You're watching a product review of one of the most fascinating products I've ever reviewed for the whole of 2020. The Hollyland Lark 150 wireless microphone. You want to watch this. This is a giant killer. Action! You know what is the best way to test a microphone or any filming product? Is to really bring it out on an actual shoot and see how it holds. And any good producers or directors will tell you, never freaking run a marathon with a new shoe. And I was thinking that let's do it anyway. So what I did, I actually used the Lark 150 in this company's newest Chinese New Year ad. It's common in Malaysia that when it comes to Chinese New Year, a lot of big brands actually make Chinese New Year ad. I want you to watch this ad. You're perhaps the first people to watch this ad. It's not even released yet, but I got permission to show you this. The audio comes completely from the Lark 150 for all the actors and actresses. Enjoy.
So this is it. My first day at work. Happy. 但我超担心的是，在面试的时候只有 headhunters， 大老板都没出现。我想他们会如何看我呢？ Judging from the deadline, the only feasible way I feel is to write a new one, drop the object, and pick it all up after. 你们觉得可以吗？
David?
Come to think of it, that could actually work.
A total of 437 modules use the object. 也就是说，如果要更改437个 module 的话 it'll take about 37 man days. And that, from my calculations, it doesn't even consider the fact that there are a total of 4 legacy... Glass door.
That's Paul, right?
Yep. Wait, you never met it?
No.
Okay.
Looks like I don't have to worry about myself. Instead, I am worried about my boss. I find him smart, but a strange person. Always with his puzzles, with kids, and I never know what or how his mind thinks. I just wish sometimes he can be more focused with the team. Oh well, who am I to judge? 他是老板，我 I'm the new CTO, Jane.
Nice meeting you, Jane. Thanks for coming. Look, there are changes. The finance...
Changes? Why changes? Why now? What does it mean? Why do you keep kicking me, Jane? Can you please help me?
Paul, the next time client 1 changes, perhaps I can handle it.
Jane, so are they still changes?
大小孩
Simplicity Consulting, thank you for allowing me to show this and allowing me to run a marathon with a new shoe. Verdict, here's the good point and bad points that I find out from using the Lark 150 completely for this ad. Good point number 1, 2 transmitters, 2 microphones going into 1 receiver unit, which means that you can have 2 microphones attached to both your actors and actresses, and then they come into your microphone without needing 4 units. Traditionally, you would need to have 1 transmitter with 1 receiver, and then 1 transmitter. It reminds me of the Sennheiser days, which brings me to good point number 2, the size. This by far, correct me if I'm wrong, write in the comment, share with me. This by far, I think, is the smallest microphone, a wireless microphone I've ever seen, both in terms of the receivers and the transmitters. Having 2 transmitters going into 1 receiver is not a big deal. I've reviewed this Harmonic before, it does the same thing. But take a look at that size, that's like a submarine. Let me go through the generations of wireless microphones that I've had the honor of owning, buying and using. We have the Sennheisers, huge, like the size of a palm. And then we went with the Harmonic because then we have 2 transmitter and 1 receiver. That's cool to have. And then we upgraded to the Rode which is really practically small, and it's still a 1-to-1, a one transmitter, one receiver. The Lark 150 is even smaller than the Rode Wireless Go in terms of size, but the receiver is bigger. Well, I can understand. If you put two of them together, it's going to be that big too. But small is the point. There's no more antenna. I really hate microphones that have antenna. They break easily and then the shield will come off. It uses the 2.4 GHz wireless technology. That's why you don't need to use the antenna. Built-in battery. When it is that small, it has to be built-in battery because it's smaller than the smallest battery I can think of. That's not even the cool part. It comes with a charging case all in one, which is why the two transmitters go in there with the receivers in there. You close the cover and then it charges itself. Wow! You know, we have wireless microphones like the Rode Wireless Go. But the problem is that you've got to charge 4 units, 4 cables, 4 chargers. Look at the case. You only need to have one USB-C cable going into the back and turn on with one charger, and then the case charges the 2 transmitters and receiver. That's really brilliant. I don't need to carry so many cables. Next good point. You must be thinking that with built-in batteries and being so small, it must really be bad in battery life. I clock close to 4 hours with one charge coming out from the box. That's really... You must be thinking, you'll film about 15 hours a day. Your actors don't do one take in 15 hours. In between 4 to 5 takes, get the audio guy, unmount the transmitters, and then put it in the box and it charges itself. That's what we do. When I use this for filming, I charge them about 3 times. During breaks, that's during the lunch break, during a whole locational reset. So impressive battery life for something that small. The next good point, such intuitive design. Look at this. It has no stupid hot shoe mount. It has a clip that you can clip to your belt for the receiver. And this clip can even slide into your hot shoe or cold shoe of your camera, which is a little bit like the Rode Wireless Go. This is one of the smartest clip there ever is. And then what happens is that you have 2 knobs. The knobs are so intuitive. When you turn them anti-clockwise or clockwise, you actually increase the volume or reduce the decibel of your transmitters. So you can actually control everything with the LCD panel faces you on the receiver. You can actually see both microphones, and the best part is pressing the knob, you can actually mute the microphone because sometimes you don't want to hear your actors going to the toilet and doing their business. So you can actually mute them. And at the same time, your actors can mute you too, because if you look at the transmitter, if you hold the button down, it turns itself off. If you just press it briefly, you're actually muting. So that if you go to the toilet, you don't need to have the audio guy listening to you doing your business. That's so cool. And that's so easy to learn. It has a built-in microphone on the transmitter. It has a jack, a TRS jack that goes to a lavalier microphone. And then it has a clip. And then it has this on-off button. That's it. Why would I want to control the volume as an actor? We should be at the hand of the audio person. That's where the 2 knobs are, to control the volume and at the same time to mute them. And of course you can power up and down, but why do you need to do this? Just remove everything, put it in the box, and it does the work. So it's really brainless. Take it out from the box, you start using it, don't want to use them, put them back in the box. No messy cable. And what I like about the box, it even has this small little compartment that makes you figure out the whole day what you want to do with them. You can actually put your TRS connector that goes to your camera's microphone. I just really love this box. You know, and the cool part is, if you lose the whole box, you lose everything. Then you get to buy it. You don't have to lose 4 things. Isn't it? Your audio guy can like go, hey, I got the transmitter, but I lost the receiver. So you know what? Do me a favor, lose all 4. The next good point, the transmitters only have 1 jack, which is where your lavalier goes in. It's a TRS jack. And then the receiver has 2 jacks. One goes to your camera's microphone jack. And the good thing about this, we finally have audio engineers designing product with their brains. Thank you, Hollyland. I've seen microphones where the audio out jack is on the right hand side. For crying out loud, almost all cameras have their mic jack on the left hand side of the camera. So this is on the left hand side, it goes to the mic. And then you have one right hand side TRS, which is your headphone. So that's it, you only have 2 ports, simple. I still remember using the Sennheiser wireless. You need a freaking degree, a PhD to use it. There's so many settings in there. And talking about settings, the next good point, there's nothing to set. You take it out of the box, it pairs itself. I don't know, the unit that I get pairs itself. And of course, there's this little reset port, which I'm not gonna try. I still remember setting up the Sennheiser, pairing them. You need a freaking PhD. And by the time you're done with it, people will call you Dr. Sennheiser Andrew Boy. Well, that was a good 15 years ago, right? Technology. I do not know how much the Lark 150 is. At this point, you're probably thinking like, how do I own the Lark 150 without knowing the price? Let me explain something to you. Number one, this is not a paid review. We are not paid in money, we're not paid in Ferrari, we're not paid in Tesla, we're not paid with sexy girl. No. The only thing we get is Hollyland writing to me and say, hey, we got this 2-in-1 very small microphone. We have seen your reviews, we love them. Would you like to review this? And I was thinking that as a producer, as a filmer, as an audio guy, I would like, why not? I said, send it to me. But whenever you send me a product, any brand, the criteria is very simple. Number one, I will do a good point and bad point. Number two, before you even send us, we'll evaluate if that product is shitty. If it's shitty, don't even send us, because I do not want to have the liability and not being able to sleep at night that you send me a product and I find it so shitty and I go on stage and I go on live to talk about it and it's shitty. We don't like ruining brands. But at the same time, we need to be fair. So that's it. It annoys me to know, and sometimes that I get 1 or 2 of the smart-ass commenters going down there and say that, oh, he's being paid to say nice things. If they're nice, we'll say about it. If it sucks, we'll talk about it as well. But if it's that bad and we have a point or 2 which is bad, we're going to contact the brands and say, this happened to me. Can you solve them? This is where we test their service. And here is the interesting fact that you got to know. Talking about this, how do YouTubers, product reviewers on YouTube make money with this? They don't make money. We don't make money from these brands. No brands will pay you money to do reviews because it's ethically wrong. Well, at least I don't see them. I don't get to meet those kind of brands. What we do is very simple. When we get a new product, something like this, there are few people in the world have them. And when we try them out and we make videos and you watch them, our ratings, subscribers, viewership goes up, which means we make more Google AdSense money. That's how it works. And maybe the slight little perk is that we always make it clear that we are not going to ship these products back to you. And most often than not, we don't even use this product. But that said, we buy a lot of these products on our own. Example like the Sennheiser, some of the Ceremonic microphones, the Rode wireless was something that I love a lot that we end up owning 4 units. That's how it goes. So please, understand how product reviews work. Watch my product reviews with confidence. Because if they're good, I'll tell you they're good. Where it sucks, I'll tell you where it sucks as well. I'm still waiting for Hollyland to reply me the price of this mic. You know what? I think you can actually find out the price from their website. Good point. This is what they say the distance is. Watch. The customary distance test when you test something wireless. I'm about 3 meters away. We're gonna test 5, 10, 20, 50, and then go to 100 and then see whether this claim of 100 meters really works. I never really believe all this data. That's why we got to come out. So I believe 2 things gonna happen. When I face the camera, it's gonna be okay. When I turn my back without line of sight, my body obstructing the mic, lavalier here, and the microphone here. So let's go with 5 meters. 5 meters, can you hear me? Good, you can hear me. Let's do 10 now. 10 meters, can you hear me? Good, let's do 20 now. 20 meters, can you hear me? I'm gonna turn around. Can you still hear me? You can still hear me at 20 meters. At this point, I, as a director and producer, would have stopped filming. But maybe you're Michael Bay. Let's do further. 50 meters, can you hear me? Great, I'm gonna turn around. Can you still hear me? You can still hear me. You know what? I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm going to 100 meters now. Okay, this is 100 meters away and I'm facing the camera. You can still hear me. At this point, I really wonder which filmer and which director will be filming that far. The point is, if you're not Michael Bay, you should be doing this recording in the studio as a voiceover. You know what? It's 100 meters. Well, this claim really works. Can you still hear me? I'm not sure if you can hear me. Talk a little bit more. I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna try another 20 meters more to see whether you can hear me. Now 120 meters. Hollyland, 你真的是厉害. That's what I get. That's what they say. This seldom happens. Well, if you get to watch part 2 of my ad for Simplicity Consulting, you realize that we were shooting in a park and it was really near a highway. There were a lot of trucks and cars and motorcycles. The noise was crazy, but I found out that the lavalier microphone that's included with the Lark 150, the noise cancellation was amazing. And one more thing that I really like about the Lark 150 is that I never get a cutoff, I never get noise, you know, those interference, electronic interference noise that we used to get from the Sennheiser wireless microphone, none of that. And let me show you something. It is so small that ideally you're now listening to the built-in microphone. You can really now, for once, clip it to your pocket and you don't feel it weighing down your shirt. The one that I have, the Rode Wireless Go, it may look promising to do it this way, but it's almost impossible. It's quite heavy. So this is quite good if you just want a quick and dirty. In fact, what we do is that we can even get the audio guy to just aim this at the talent. Can you say something?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See, that's the good part, and it's really light because it's kind of deceiving to have a clip and thinking that you can clip this, but then it's too heavy, it weighs down your shirt, looking like an idiot. That won't work. This is really almost nothing. Here's the thing I want to teach you when it comes to you being a talent or an actor on set. You may be new at this. When the audio guy say test audio, don't go like testing, 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 and then it goes like again, testing, do me a favor, just clip it where it's supposed to be and do this. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, or even better, run through your dialogue. You're gonna go like, this is it. My first day at work. Happy, but I'm kind of worried. That's what you're supposed to do. So, actors and actresses, if you're new, we love to have you on set. But please don't annoy us with testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. That's not a good test. That's a free lesson. And talking about lesson, if you want to learn more about filming and photography, head on to my website here. I sound like a bloody ad, isn't it? Let's do this later. Oh, this has got to be the best point that I love the most. This can get a little bit technical. When you get two transmitters going to the receiver, you got to ask this question. Is it coming in as a left channel on one microphone and a right channel on the other microphone? That way I don't have the audio coalesce into one file, which means that I cannot tear them apart. The Lark 150 can do that. That's called the stereo. All you need to do is hold down the left knob and you notice that it becomes stereo. One of the microphones will go into the left channel, independent of the other microphone going into the right channel. So you actually have two tracks of file. But what if you are lazy and your actors are really that good and you want to put them all together? Then press it and hold it down one more time and then you're gonna get mono, which means that the left channel and the right channel will go into one audio file and you cannot tear them apart. This is what happened. If you watch this footage, you notice that actor David and Helen has got slightly an off-sync audio there. And I was experimenting with this mono.
Wait, you never met it?
So you notice that Helen's dialogue of him came a little bit late. That annoyed me, but I was recording this on mono. And here's one impressive feature that Hollyland included. Press it one more time, you're gonna get a mode that does stereo. But then, both the mics go into one channel, and the other channel would be a backup track of slightly lower decibel. let me tell you this. When you have your audio too loud, nothing, no God in the world, no religion in the world can help you. That's why they're creating this feature. So you have two transmitters going into one track, and then the other track is a backup, which is a slightly lower decibel. So if you're too loud on this track, you can always come back here and get an audio and still use it. That's impressive. That actually saves you a lot of time. You don't actually need to worry about using a field mixer. That's what field mixers are for. Pretty good. This USB port here is not only used for charging. I found out that it can be upgraded in firmware as well. Oh my God, anything that can be upgraded in firmware, especially a microphone, is almost unheard of. And how do I find that out? Well, to be honest, when I received my mic from Hollyland, it's got an old firmware. So one of the microphone's battery just kind of like getting false response with the levels. The battery was good, but the indicator is always telling me no battery. So that annoyed me to no end. So I reached out to Hollyland and said, hey, I got this problem. They said, oh, you got old firmware. Let me send you this. And here's the good point. The response was amazing. They sent it to me immediately, and there's an app. All you need to do is take it to the USB port and then upload the .bin file. And then before you know it, all in less than 10 minutes, I got a new firmware and I don't have the battery issues anymore. Which is the good point, is that it can be upgraded in firmware. That anything can be upgraded in firmware. It's gonna last you a long time. So that's it. If you happen to have the Lark 150 and you happen to have bad battery indication with wrong, there are batteries in the transmitter, but then the receiver keep on telling you that you're low on battery. And that brings us to bad point number one. I got a firmware which is old, but at least I got it upgraded. So Hollyland, thank you for the quick response. That's not exactly a bad point, right? Okay, anyway, that's bad point number one. Bad point number two. What bad points do you have? I can't think of any. Bad point number two. Okay. I honestly feel that even though it lasts almost 4 hours with two transmitters transmitting to the receiver, most of the wireless microphone that I own, the receiver, if it is a 2-to-1, the receiver would die first, because that's how busy it is. It's dealing with two transmitters. Or maybe sometimes even the transmitter would die early, because transmitters are always transmitting. It's like talking, like me talking. You won't die because you're just listening. Like me, if I do this for half an hour, I may die, tired talking. Here's the point. I wish that the battery could be 8 hours. But then 4 hours is good, because I know if I ask for 8 hours, then the transmitter is going to be as big as the Rode Wireless Go, then it will not be light anymore. Next bad point, look at this price. It's not cheap. It's not exactly expensive though. However, it is not cheap. Michelle, what bad points do you get?
4 transmitter to 1 receiver.
That's how greedy my wife is. This is unbelievable. Now it's so small, you wish that, I think they can. Just buy 2 units. So viewers, conclusion, the number of good points, the number of bad points. When you look at a product with so many good points compared to bad points, and I'm like really nitpicking, isn't it, to get the bad point, this is a 5-star product. So viewers, videographers, producers, audio guy, that's your smallest microphone, a 2-in-1, and this is a product that you can really run a marathon with a new shoe. I'm impressed. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you do, please share this video with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell button, and don't forget, visit my e-learning website, because we have 3 new e-learning courses: Colors in Photography, Pet Photography, Food Photography, and our popular online Pro Cert program, where you can be certified as a professional photographer in as short as 6 months to 1 year, and you get 4 amazing certs like this. You should really check out our e-learning website. Thank you. I hope to see you soon.